Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who has an insatiable appetite for Big Brother, Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our live Thursday night show. A little bit later after the eviction here on a Thursday night, August 14th, ready to talk about the eviction of Ian Terry's QT 3.14 tonight. It's a sad night. Ian is already very, very upset. All right, we've got a great show for you tonight. Of course, here is Ian Terry. Ian, how are you holding up?
I'm actually doing fine.
He's hanging in there.
I'm all right.
Hanging in there.
Not that big a deal. It's a lot of it's for show. I definitely would like to meet her, but I think I'll live.
Okay, he'll live. And now here's a man who would watch the Big Brother live feeds even during a zombie apocalypse. Brian Lynch. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing great. I think I might watch feeds during a zombie apocalypse. I think Nicole kind of put Hayden in the friend zone tonight, though. Didn't you hear that?
Friend zone.
I did hear that. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to check it out.
Okay. Whoa. All right, so we are here live Thursday night. We've got the chat room going on robhasawebsite.com. Plus, we are monitoring Twitter, hashtag RHAP. And then, of course, on our YouTube channel at robhasawebsite.com/YouTube. We're a little late tonight. I just got done. I was on the Big Brother Canada's house guest hangout on Global. And I was the guest of the great Netta from Big Brother Canada 2. Perhaps the smartest Big Brother Canada player to never win Big Brother Canada. And Peter Brown was there as well, so that was very fun if you guys want to check that out as well. We were talking about Big Brother just like we're going to do live right now, and I know a lot of you guys, I had the link embedded up on robhasawebsite.com on this show page, and I'll keep the link there if you want to check it out sometime tomorrow or over the weekend. All right, so Ian, where do you want to pick this up tonight? So Nicole is done, an uneventful week for the most part that Nicole was done. Do you want to write the eulogy of the HoH competition beast, Nicole?
Well, I think she was clearly the cutest girl this season. Beautiful eyes, dreamy, pretty smart, clearly. Awkward socially, but in the right way. And I think she was a good player. And, hopefully she'll be back into the house in like a week. So there you go.
Okay, that's what it's really will come down to if somebody is going to come back. Do we suspect that America will vote on this, or do we suspect that it will be some sort of contest or a competition?
I feel like if America were voting, we would already be voting.
Yeah. At what point do you think they would bring somebody back?
Because last time they had us vote they had us vote a Team America thing on a Wednesday night. So,
when did Judd come back?
But Judd came back with it. He came in with an automatic 8th place, so there would be 7 people in the house, and he got the 8th spot.
Okay. Battle of the Block. Did they say tonight next week will be the final Battle of the Block?
Yes. The HoH with 2 HoHs is the last week.
Okay, so this is the last week, or on Thursday will be the final Battle of the Block?
No. Sunday night's episode will have the last Battle of the Block.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Because, yeah.
I know. At this point, it's actually... I was talking to someone else about this. They said that at this point, it's actually like a great thing to get nominated.
Yeah, you got a 50-50 chance to stay safe.
Well, not only that, it's just there's so few people in the house that, like, if you win it, I mean, there's just so little options to be put up as replacement that, like, you could end up on the block even with an ally as HoH, kind of like the Nokomis has to nominate Karen type situation. I mean, it's basically like that, so it's great to just get nominated.
Okay, so before we get into what Derrick and Frankie are going to do, was it the right decision to get rid of Nicole this week for somebody like Derrick? I know Derrick was driving the bus on this most of the week. Nicole's got to go. Nicole's a threat. You think it was the right move to get rid of Nicole?
I do. I do think so. I mean, it's just there weren't many choices. Is basically what he spelled out. There's like what 4 people that could have gone up besides. Well, he could go up. Well, he doesn't want that. I
But
mean,
specifically, what about her versus Donnie? Why was it
all right,
better
well
for him to
that's
keep Donnie in the house?
well, I think I mean, isn't it the something about like Team America was driving his decision, which I still am not sure of. Like, as far as I know, it would just keep going if Donnie got voted out. But I think that Nicole supposedly has this remarkable memory, and there's always been these fears that from Derrick that if Nicole gets so far, she would yoke them like Ian Terry did. So I think
Is that what
that
you did?
means
You yoked people?
yeah, I guess I yoked people, which according to Derrick means that just because I had a good memory, I could just like put together a really great string of competition wins towards the end, and there was nothing anybody really could have ever done about it. So he seemed to be afraid that Nicole would do the same thing.
Brian, could you speak to this at all? Why? I'm not sure I understand. Why was Nicole the bigger threat than Donnie this week?
I think primarily because Nicole had Victoria's ear and was telling her all sorts of things that Derrick was up to in alliances he had, exposed the fact that they had the final 2 alliance, and Derrick ended up having to do some damage control about that. And Donnie wasn't causing him the problems that Nicole was. I think that's primarily the reason that she ended up being the target.
If Derrick wasn't in the house, let's just say hypothetically, everything else is the same, Derrick's not in the house, did Nicole stay this week?
I think she's got a good chance of staying because there was a lot of wavering the other night, as far as I could tell, but then Derrick nipped it in the bud.
He's a good nipper in the bud, this Derrick. You know, he's not
Oh,
letting us have
absolutely.
any fun this season. He doesn't like good TV.
Nicole wouldn't have been up on the block to begin with if he wasn't in the house.
In fairness, he did get Zach saved last week.
Well,
Caleb?
that's true. I mean, I just want Zach to win.
Yeah. Well, what's your take on Zach this week? Is Zach screwed, Ian? Because I'm looking at the board right now, and I see Derrick as HOH, and I see Frankie as HOH, and I feel like this is bad news for the Zach attack. What's your read on the situation, Ian?
I don't think it's that dire of a situation. I really don't.
Who is it worse for? If you're a Zach fan, who should you root for to remain the HOH this week? Do you want Frankie or do you want Derrick? Who's least likely to backdoor Zach?
I feel like a lot of people, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Frankie could be a target if he were to lose his HOH.
Brian, what's your read on that?
No, this is no.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying this is no spoiler because Zach's been talking about this for weeks. Just go ahead. He's volunteering to go up on the block, so there is no backdoor opportunity. He's going to be up on the block, and that's without even revealing a spoiler.
Now, how close are Derrick and Derrick and Frankie at this point? Because it seemed like that as of Friday night, when I watched the whole Ariana Grande thing play out, it seemed like Derrick was the person who was the most anti-Frankie in that spot because he was talking about how his sister is rich, but it seems like that fences were mended during the week this week. Is there a possibility that this HOH, co-HOH, could drive Derrick and Frankie apart or only push them closer together? What do you think, Ian?
Well, though I think that the drive could push. I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? I spaced out for a second.
Yeah, no problem. So, Derrick and Frankie, will being co-HOH push them closer together or drive them further apart?
I think it should drive them further apart if it plays out as I'm expecting. I mean, I don't think Derrick is ever really in danger of going home at any point in time. But I feel like if Derrick were to remain HOH and Frankie's name is an available target, I could definitely see him going up.
What do you think, Brian?
I mean, it just seems like that Derrick has this ability to make everyone come closer to him no matter what the situation is. So I don't see them being driven apart by any means because Derrick won't allow that to happen.
I guess what I should say is that if Derrick loses his HOH, they'll become closer together, but if Derrick keeps his HOH, then there's the chance they could be further apart, as in perhaps Frankie would be a target.
Who would each guy want to target? Who would be the target for Derrick? Let's start with. Do you know, Brian?
I mean, well, it's kind of hard to believe what Derrick says at times, but I'm assuming that getting Zach out would be a priority for him at this point.
Okay.
Although he says differently.
I think I agree with that. I think that Zach is the one that's causing the most problems for Derrick at this point. What do you think about Frankie, Ian? Who would Frankie want to target this week?
I mean, would it be Zach still? That's what I'm worried about.
See, I feel like both these guys are going to come together and say, let's just get rid of Zach this week. Let's make him the target.
I mean, I guess it's wishful thinking on my end that they wouldn't want to do that. But
give me a name other than Zach. Give me somebody that these guys want to get rid of.
I mean, maybe Donnie. Maybe.
I don't know. They could have gotten rid of Donnie this week, and they were like, Derrick, it annoys me. Again, I feel like he's disingenuous in the diary room. When he voted, he's like, I sadly vote to evict Nicole. Got to keep Team America. Team America. Like Team America's even a thing. Like anybody is anybody's like, oh man, our Team America that we voted in is getting along.
Successfully completed a task since like week 2. I mean, that was ages ago. I think it was still June.
It was it was. I can tell you when it was because it was when we did our last live show. It was July 20th was when they got Amber on the block because she was a physical threat.
Oh wow! What a recent move there.
Yeah, we're closing in on a month. It'll be a month next week.
Yeah, I mean that's insane to me. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So.
No, that is crazy, and I worry if Zach doesn't win. Zach needs to get nominated. He needs to win Battle of the Block. If he doesn't do that, he needs to win the veto because I feel like these two guys are going to come together and say who's causing the most problems in the house, and the answer has got to be Zach. Who's the one guy we can't control?
Zach attack, without a doubt.
Yeah,
there is no doubt about it.
So what's the move for Zach? Does Zach rein it in? Can he tone it down for a couple days, or does he need to just go bigger and steer into the curve, Ian?
I think Zach's play is to get nominated and hope that he can win the Battle of the Block. Period.
Yeah, and who would they nominate him with?
See, the question is, would they try to get someone that's willing to throw it? Because I mean, Victoria might be that person, and she's probably convinced to do whatever she's told.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't really know what the move is. If you do want to backdoor Zach, I wonder, if you're better off to not put him up. But then, okay, so now you have Derrick is not going to play in the Battle of the Block. Frankie's not going to play in the Battle of the Block. Zach doesn't play in the Battle of the Block. Who's left? You're going to nominate,
yeah, really.
Cody, Christine, Caleb, Donnie, and Victoria. So 4 out of those 5 people you got to nominate if you don't want Zach to play in the Battle of the Block.
Can I go ahead and tell y'all who's planning on throwing it?
Hold off for the spoilers. Well, I mean, we don't have too much more to cover from the episode because it was sort of a light night as far as what happened on the episode. Let's see. Let's talk about what did you think, Ian, of them going to go see the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, isn't Caleb from around Dallas? So that must have been a pretty big deal for him, right?
I think it was excited for Caleb. Just because he is such a star effort, I feel like anybody. I mean, why was he kissing up to Jerry Jones of all people? Like he met actual football players. He's like, man, I met the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, and that guy is awesome. That guy is a great
I think for me, I think the funniest part was, I know some football players in real life, Rob, or Julie anyway. But, he said that it wasn't that big of a deal to meet the football players, basically, but that meeting Jerry Jones was amazing. And, he implied that he was just casually friends with a few NFL players when Julie asked him about it.
Okay. Beast mode Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys defense is so bad this season, they are giving up completions of tasks to Team America. How about that?
Not bad, not bad.
It was a reach. It was pretty bad. Okay, so in the live show, Brian, also, we talked about it, we touched on it really briefly last night, but why was Christine saying that Frankie was so disgusting on the trip to see the Cowboys?
I mean, I'm not even really sure. It's just like that. I can't even remember that. It's just something she always says about everybody that he acted like I can't even remember, Rob. She just always says somebody's disgusting because of the way they act about whatever.
Ian, it's been a week since we talked to you, and we never got to get your take on the Ariana Grande reveal. And actually, we may never get to hear Ian's take because we lost our connection with him. So we'll try to get him back onto the show. Brian, going into tonight's HoH competition, were you getting scared watching the live feeds?
Oh, with the no, I didn't get scared. Well, yeah, I did get scared when the girl started screaming. It just scared the crap out of me, actually. It did.
Yeah. Okay.
But not the skeletons in the mirrors or anything. That wasn't scary.
Yeah. Ian.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that maybe the zombie apocalypse got you, and you had to go over to St. Giesling's Hospital.
No, I accidentally lost you guys for a minute there.
Yeah.
But I'm back, so that's what's important.
So, Ian, we haven't gotten to get your take on Frankie Grande and Mogulgate and the whole reveal of who he is. What did you think of that? You were somebody that was there when Dan Giesling gave his funeral in the house. Could you compare the Frankie Grande reveal and what Dan did?
Well, I mean, here's the thing is, right, both were pretty big leaps of faith. I think Dan's was a much bigger leap of faith because he was not immune like Frankie was. However, here's the thing is, whenever you have nothing is when you can do anything, right? Like in Fight Club, they say. So I think that it's very comparable in that it's like the Hail Mary, you may as well run the risk. And I think that it was about as well timed as that was ever going to get for Frankie. So if he's ever going to say anything about it, that would be the time to do that.
Okay. Brian, we were talking about this on the house guest hangout that I did earlier, but you know, everybody said about the whole Frankie thing, like, if this guy thinks this is going to work, he's got another thing coming. Because this was 100% strategy. It's not going to work. We don't care what his sister is, or if he's a mogul, or whatever. But hasn't it kind of worked, Brian?
It worked in the sense that it was a distraction. It distracted from all of his lies, and he said, well, this is the reason that all of that happened, which was a distraction, because it wasn't the reason all of it happened, and people just stopped thinking about it because he was safe. I mean, you have to put that on the back burner at this point. If you fight that war, you're going to get like caught up in some kind of stampede, more likely.
Is there a lot of chatter happening in the house of we got to get Frankie out, we can't trust Frankie? I mean, it feels like that stuff has really almost all been forgotten.
Well, because Caleb brought it back to Bomb Squad loyalty being the narrative of the house, the open narrative of the house. So people aren't going around openly discussing backstabbing people in their alliance. Because one of the things that started this chain of events was Frankie doing that to somebody in the alliance. And Derrick saying in the diary room, oh, well, that's unacceptable, as if he wasn't the one going around backstabbing people in his alliance the week before.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, the other thing you have to think about is that I'm sorry, my throat is really sore. The other thing you have to think about is once somebody gets like immunity for a week, they just tend to be forgotten about. I mean, you're more or less just off the table, and your vote is really what counts. So with all that time that Frankie didn't have heat on him, people just forgot about it.
Okay, from the live show tonight, I thought that Julie was she really wanted to talk about Ariana Grande. And so she starts her questions and goes, all right, Victoria. And you know this is right where she wants to go because why would she want to talk to Victoria on a live show? And she's like, all right, Victoria, this is your chance. Have there been any big surprises in the house this week? And Julia's like, all right, let's do it, Ariana Grande. and Victoria's like, oh yeah, you know, there's so much tension and drama, and Julie Chen's like, not what I wanted.
I think for me the funniest part there is it was just the other house guests just laughing their asses off as she rambled on with some sort of incoherent response. I mean, I just found that infinitely amusing, just how little sense and jumbled she was.
Were you surprised that the Christine and Cody Cuddlemance made the show tonight and is becoming a story, Ian?
I mean, is it really becoming a story aside from showing them, like, you know, him pick her up and then kind of like rub her back? I mean, it's not like we saw a lot of diary room clips of people commenting about how awkward it is.
But do you think that's coming? Is this like the first clip that they showed us with Caleb and Amber together, and that it's a story that, especially if the house is going to be more and more a straight shot of what's going to happen, that we might start to explore this on the TV show?
Well, the thing is, I don't know that it's affecting the game, and I feel like this is one of the things that they would prefer to leave out if it doesn't affect the game story. So I feel like unless it starts to have a direct impact on the game, then it's not going to be brought up.
Okay. Let's go ahead and let's start to take some of your questions here. Of course, just one programming note. On Sunday night, we're not going to have a live show after the episode. I am on my way to Dallas, home of the Beast Mode Cowboys, for the first annual podcast movement conference. I'm going to be speaking there, and I'm going to be speaking about how podcasters can grow their podcasts using YouTube. Now, Ian, if somebody was to go to a podcast conference and speak about how podcasters are can use YouTube to grow their podcast, would that make someone a social media mogul?
I think that would indeed make someone a social media mogul. I think that, Rob, you've been doing it for quite a while.
Oh my God.
Didn't somebody say something about, like, TV mogul, and then I think someone on Twitter pointed out that Frankie's only television credit on IMDb is Big Brother?
Well, we touched on that on the show last night, where I believe he said his credits are: I'm a YouTuber, I'm a TV personality, I'm a social media mogul, and my sister's a mega pop star. And Eric Stein had said, yes, he's on Big Brother 16. Yeah, other than that, I'm not sure what other TV appearances Frankie Grande has made.
Spoiler alert, I don't think there are any.
Yet.
He's
an aspiring TV personality. Okay. Let's see. Amazing Race Know-It-All says, what was the true purpose of showing the sleeping Cody scene? Oh, it was funny. It was fun.
Just a little break in the monotony.
Yeah.
I thought it was amusing.
Yeah, I thought it was a little overhyped because I had been seeing the link floating around Twitter and on the Big Brother Reddit, which I'm a big fan of. And watch Cody punch himself in the face and not know what happened. I'm like, oh, okay, here it is. But I thought it was a little anticlimactic after the build-up of watch Cody punch himself in the face.
I don't think anything ever will top me kicking myself in the face, Rob.
Yes, but you did that on purpose.
Well, fair enough, but it's still impressive.
Yeah. All right. This is from Spring Willis, who says, do you think Nicole would have done better if she hid the fact she knew a lot about the game? Also, Ian, do you consider this strategy? Is it possible for people to hide how much they know about the game in the Big Brother house, Ian?
Okay, here's the thing. I feel like Eric touched on this really well last night is, you know, when you see someone in there that is not absurdly good-looking, wearing thick glasses perhaps, your immediate instinct should be, okay, this person is really, really smart, and they need to go pretty much immediately. So just by virtue of the fact that I'm not like some 6'2" tan hunk, I feel like there's good reason to believe that I'm in there because I know the show pretty well and I'm a pretty smart guy. So hey, maybe it's a good idea to get rid of this dude.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I was worried. Although I think Nicole is really beautiful, I think that just how she carries herself, I think it's very obvious.
Yeah, well, we were worried about you after coming on the heels of Cochran, and we said, it was
the worst. I mean, it was, I don't know. I think that's pretty much exactly right. I think anything that the way the first week played out, it was probably as bad as it could have played out, given just the twist and how things worked out up until day 4 when things turned around pretty well.
Should I throw that out as a guy who covers Big Brother and Survivor, where whatever happens on, the recent season of Survivor, should I just assume that's not in the minds of the people in the Big Brother house? Like we had this season where Tony just finished on Survivor, and we said, oh, it's going to be an issue, and then it really hasn't been. Now people don't know he's a cop. Should I just get that out of my head?
Well, I mean, I think that it's okay to bring up because I did hear Derrick say, and he actually uses Tony in his strategy and discussing things with other people where he's like, yeah, I mean, I saw this guy that won the Survivor season that was on in the spring. It was this cop guy, Tony. I mean, he was swearing on his kids and stuff and going back on it. And my wife told me that if I'm doing that, I mean, it's absolutely not worth it and that I should never do anything like that. So, I mean, he's basically, using that comparison to sell himself as an honest guy. And I think he's doing it pretty well.
He said that pregame or on the live feeds?
On the live feeds.
Yeah.
So he probably would do it, but, it is what it is.
And we interviewed Tony the other night. On Tuesday night, we did a off-season Survivor Know-It-Alls, and I asked Tony what he thought about Derrick, but Tony not watching the BB16.
He doesn't seem like the type of guy that would watch BB16.
Yeah, Russell Hantz loves it, though.
Russell Hantz does love it.
The Hantz family loves it. Okay, Brooke wants to know, why did Derrick win this comp? Don't you think it would have been best for him to throw it? I don't know. It's getting a little late. It's getting late kind of early around here, down to final 8. What, Ian, should Derrick have thrown this competition?
I mean, here's the thing. At this point, with so little options to go up, I mean, it's so dicey to throw. I feel like this is a week where you would like to just play for HOH and try to get the immunity that comes with it, the 50-50 shot of getting it. So I feel perfectly okay with him winning this one. I feel like Victoria, though, should just throw everything from this point on, and she just guarantees herself $50K because she's never gonna win.
Okay. What's the line in the sand that if Victoria gets there where she could be like the Sabrina of Big Brother Canada, where there reaches a point where people start to say, oh my God, she sucks so bad, I need to take her to the final 2, and I'll screw over my allies to get to the spot where I can take this person to the final 2. What is that, final 5, final 6?
Are people already thinking that? I think they are.
Are people thinking that at final 8, Brian?
Well, I think Derrick definitely wants to take her probably over
absolutely.
Cody, but he's feeding these comments Victoria has about people going out of the house and her little zingers while people are leaving and goodbye speeches and stuff. That's coming from Derrick, and he's getting her to set that up so that nobody will vote for her.
Yeah. Boring goodbye messages tonight. Everybody is in total sucking kneecaps mode. Super boring, Ian.
Well, fair enough. But you know what? I think Nicole deserved the praise.
Let me say,
Zach's out.
Yeah, they left Zach's out. Let me do my goodbye message to Nicole. Nicole, you were the greatest person I've ever met in my entire life. I'm so much better for having met you. You're the best player that's ever played this game, and I can't wait until we get out of this house. And then I'm going to call you and text you and play Words with Friends with you every single day for the rest of our lives. Thank you, Nicole, for giving my life meaning. Thank you, Nicole. See you on the flip side. Yeah.
Right, that could have been easily inserted into the episode, and I probably wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah. It's too much. Yeah, you know what? Stop. Everybody's sucking kneecaps all week. What they should do is say, all right, Nicole, we're going to show you a bunch of clips of what people were saying about you in the house this week. That would be jury tampering. It would be jury tampering. Okay. Everett Johnson has to say, do you think it's fair that clues for the HOH were so late at night because not all the house guests stay up late? Why not early in the morning? Gotta make a TV show.
It's a very good question. But yeah, I mean, I think that, the person brings up a decent point here. And, I mean, Donnie goes to bed really early, right? I mean, that guy just goes to bed, super early compared to everybody else. I think it's when there was the house meeting the other night, Donnie wasn't there because he was asleep. I just find that hilarious. But he goes to bed at like 8 p.m. So there you go.
Ian, we just got word that Nicole, they showed Nicole my goodbye message to her, and they patched her through here on the line. We have Nicole. You guys, Rob's message was so nice. It was so good.
Rob,
that was great.
I'm just waiting for the day, just like the precise second in which I hear Ian with the at the end of it. Like, I'm just really waiting for that. It'll be exciting.
Ian, but I'm just friends with Hayden. Okay. You guys. Okay. All right. Energizer61 Bunny says, are you a fan of jurors returning to the game? Well, I have to hope. Now, we talked about this. We touched on it with Eric Stein last night. Julie says to Nicole tonight, well, Nicole, you're off to the jury house. You'll go get to see Hayden, but you will get a chance to come back and compete in this game. Ian, is she going to the jury house, or is she going to get a chance to compete in this game? Because surely it can't be both. You can't go commingle in the jury house and then come back in the game, right?
Why not? They commingled last year, and Judd came back in the game.
Brian, do we know this?
Yes, we know this.
Oh, damn. Did I forget? I forgot this?
Yeah,
and the clue that Julie gave was the same as last year, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. And was that a factor when Judd came back?
Well, I mean, Judd was able to advance himself into the game, and you know, typically the person that returns is the next one voted out, or at least targeted, and he was able to advance himself to the end game, really.
Yeah, but if everybody in the jury house compares notes, wait, what did Derrick tell you? What did Derrick tell you? What did Derrick tell you? Derrick told me that he said that we're going to go to the final two. Derrick told me we're going to go to the final two. You know, the one person that's lying to all of us is Derrick, and then if he comes back, and then somebody comes back, isn't that going to be a major issue?
Yeah, I think he should have thrown this HoH, actually, especially knowing that someone could come back.
He's gonna have the he could have the chance where he can't play when oh, that's nasty. Yeah.
With his numbers dwindled down, so he should have taken the risk with his numbers where he put them this week and just thrown the HoH competition, so he would have the chance to protect himself next week with HoH.
All right, well, how about this? Are they preparing, Brian, for somebody coming back to the house? Like, has this come up in conversation?
It comes up minimally. Zach knows. Zach said immediately, told Hayden while he was walking out the door that he was coming back because it had just been said. So he knows. He talks about it minimally. They don't bring it up at all. And I think some people have forgotten it. And, I mean, maybe Derrick has. It would be hard to think because he's so wrapped up. He knows everything. He's got his hands in everything. But if he's forgotten this, he's made a mistake.
I can't believe.
If I remember this correctly, I heard on the feeds the other day where Cody had said, I don't think that there will be a rebuy in this year, meaning he doesn't think that there would be someone coming back. And he thinks that it was just like a hoax to scare them. Which, I mean, that's something to think about because, you know, it wouldn't be 2 years in a row, right? You'd be like, oh, yeah, they're going to do that 2 years in a row. But, you know, that is what it is, so there you go.
I can't believe that Derrick isn't, like, tucking everybody in at night and saying, like, hey, remember, if somebody comes back in the house, they're the next one to go home. They have to go home next, guys. So remember, it's just us. Boston, that's what BR would be doing, Ian.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, he would.
Hey,
I mean,
guys, whoever comes back from redemption, we're voting them out next. Revolving door. You guys. Okay. Energizer Bunny wants to say, okay, we got this one. All right, we'll go to the next question here coming up. Okay. Unless we could be maybe Scott is frozen. Anyway, so what do we think about the Team America task for tonight? What was it? There was so many words on the screen. Can we shorten these Team America tasks? I can't even write them down in the 10 seconds that they were on the screen. Brian, what was the two Team America tasks?
I must have totally missed it.
Ian, what did you have?
Okay, so one is, and they're very, very absurd.
They are absurd.
One is to hide an article of clothing that each person in the house likes, so they have to hide a piece of clothing for each person in the house. Then, after calling attention to the fact that they're missing, form a neighborhood watch patrol or something like that to try and catch whoever is doing it.
Okay,
And the second one,
that's really dumb.
and the second one is to keep someone up for 24 straight hours by bothering them, basically.
I think it'd be funnier to see B, right?
I think both are equally dumb and absurd. So I don't know. I want them to get more money, so I think I'll go with A.
Ian, you're such a nice guy. You want them to see to get more money.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do well with it, so I'll give them A because I think it's much easier. And just because of how ridiculous that is, like, I think it would be funny to watch.
I think it would be funny to do B because I think then it would be funny if, like, let's say they pick like Victoria and they got to keep her up.
It would obviously be Victoria.
Well, but she sleeps the most, so I don't know who sleeps the least, Brian.
God, I mean, everybody has to sleep. You got to get 8 hours of sleep at some point, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
24 hours is not difficult though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it would be funny though because what you could do is like, let's say it's Christine and then she tries to go to sleep and then Derrick comes in and it's like, hey, can I talk to you real quick? I want to ask you a question about something. And then and then he leaves and then Frankie is like, oh my God, like come here, I gotta show you something. And then then he leaves and then Donnie's like, Christine, I got to talk to you about something. Could I have a few minutes of your time? And just like the three of them like going around and then trying to keep her up all night.
Donnie ain't gonna stay up all night to do that. They'll probably just decline that task, as a matter of fact.
I would like $5,000, but I got to get my shut-eye. If I don't get my shut-eye, it's not worth it to me.
He didn't even want to stay up for the zombie questions.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta get up early. Can't stay up. That's in Donnie's family. Donnie's parents don't even stay up to watch Big Brother. So what are you gonna do? Okay. Let's see. Anything else from tonight's show while we wait for some questions to come back? Okay. Let's get the spoilers fired up. Okay. I'm gonna go into spoiler mode. Okay. All right, let's get into talk about some spoilers here. All right, Brian. So what's the state on the live feeds right now?
When we were going on, the last thing that I heard was Zach was going to be nominated against Donnie, and Zach was going to throw the Battle of the Block, and that they would backdoor Christine possibly, but that's just the narrative. I mean, if Zach, I feel like if Zach doesn't win veto, or he could be lying about this Battle of the Block thing, just so he could win it or throw it to Don or whatever. Who knows what's going to happen? But that's the plan for Zach to go up and throw it.
Who would Zach be on the Battle of the Block with?
Donnie.
Okay. Well, if you're Zach and you sit up on the block with Donnie, I think you'd feel okay about your chances. I feel like if as long as he's next to Donnie, but the problem is if Donnie wins the veto, that's when I'd start to be scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
You would end up next to Christine, definitely, and then you would have to depend on your bros to kick out Christine.
I don't know. I wouldn't trust these guys. I would not trust these guys.
You got another cuddle buddy?
You guys. I would not trust it. I would not trust it. Ian, how about your fellow winner, Rachel Riley, on with Julie Chen tonight?
I mean, I don't know. Why wasn't I asked? Why wasn't I asked to be on there? I don't know. I thought she did all right, though. It would have been fun. I couldn't have made it out there even if I were, but, maybe I'm just relegated to Final Five comp hosting duties from now on. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess so. So Rachel Riley was there in a good spot with Julie Chen talking about the craziness. She loves Zanky.
I mean, who doesn't love Zanky, right?
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, Rachel does the thing where she like she plays to the crowd on these things. When we did the
Absolutely.
show, and then like Julie asks her a question, and she'll like Rachel, did you so what do you think of that? And it's like I love Zanky. Who here doesn't love Zanky, right? Right. She's like I can't imagine Julie likes that of like asked like Julie doesn't say like, how's everybody doing here tonight? Everybody's good? Like, getting the crowd into it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Julie really likes to get the crowd involved because that might throw her off her cue, or her script, or her programming script, if you will. So yeah, I don't know, but I feel like it would be a lot of fun to do one of those interviews, but you never really know.
Yeah, she pumps up the live audience at the Big Brother Eviction, and she will, I'm sure, be pumping up the audience live. We are going to be back live 2 weeks from tonight at the Ontario Improv in California, and we are going to be live with Brendan and Rachel. We're going to watch the live eviction on the West Coast feed at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then go right into Rob as a podcast right after that. 2 weeks from tonight. It's very, very fun. We had a great time. Everybody had a fun time who came out to the last one in Hollywood in July. So we're going to be at the Ontario Improv, bigger venue, more seats. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you can make it out in 2 weeks from tonight, see Rachel Riley fresh off of a Big Brother 16 appearance. For ticket information, go to robhasawebsite.com/Brenchel2 or click the banner in the sidebar of robhasawebsite.com. Tickets are just $10, Ian. I know you want to see people.
It's a steal.
It's a steal. Yes.
It's a real steal.
It's a steal. Okay. Let's take some more questions here. Michelle Smith says, will the nominees for Battle of the Block be throwing the competition in order to give Frankie evicted? Is he still the biggest target in the house? What is the likelihood, Ian? Give me the percentage chance that Frankie gets backdoored this week.
I don't know, like 20%.
20. Brian, higher or lower than 20%? Buy or sell? 20% from Ian Terry.
I'm selling lower.
You're lower. Lower. I agree. I think that's too high.
There's just so few choices. That's the thing. That's why I say that. There's just barely any choices out there.
I mean, would Derrick be in on that? I know he seemed very sour on Frankie a week ago, but it seems like he's warmed back up to him.
I feel like if it looked opportunity to go for it, I mean, I feel like he's that kind of person, for sure.
Okay. Let's take some more questions here, live here on Thursday night. Rockin' Rob, will Zingbot go for an infidelity joke on Christine? No. Stop it, Tyree. Stop it, Tyree Biggums. No, even the Zingbot has, maybe Gilbert Gottfried might do that at the Christine roast, but no, Zingbot. The Zingbot is a classy robot, right, Ian?
I don't know, actually. That might be something it would go for. I think that would be really funny if it did.
No. What's the lowest blow? What's the lowest blow the Zingbot's ever taken at anybody? What's
like Danielle Murphy's?
What'd he say to her?
Shane has a gift for you after the season ends. A restraining order.
Oh, that's not even that. That's pretty tame.
But I mean, I don't know. I could see them going for it.
Okay. All right. So Lauren Garcia wants to know, how much longer could Donnie last? I am really starting to worry for him now. They're starting to run out of pawns. Soon they'll turn each other and eat each other alive. Wink, wink, dumb zombie joke. All right. How much longer could Donnie last? Give me, Ian, could you paint the picture of how Donnie gets to the final two?
Well, he wins a shitload of comps, and people can't vote him out, much to their chagrin.
So he just wins the veto every week and wins a couple of HOHs along the way?
Yeah, he's going to have to put a good immunity run together. I mean, not to say that it couldn't happen, but I don't see any way where he just, like, strategically maneuvers himself to the end. Like, he's going to need to rely on comp wins at some point.
Going back to Gilbert Gottfried for a moment, did you like Gilbert Gottfried as OTEV?
I loved Gilbert Gottfried as OTEV. I'm a huge fan of Gilbert Gottfried at like roasts and things, and I think that like it was really, really good. I think Colin Stone wrapped it up best with one of his tweets where he says that Gilbert Gottfried probably told his agent, "I cannot fire you fast enough." Well, that was terrible. My throat is so sore.
Christine! Yeah.
I can so do that better, but my throat is very, very sore today.
Yeah. Okay. So Klaus L wants to say, do you think they're actually going to do these tasks? I don't think they would if it requires effort. Yeah, Team America is lazy.
Yeah,
They're not a good representative of the American spirit.
I think they I feel like they've got $10,000 and they're just gonna try to cash out.
Yeah, I think so. They should do that like a Team America will do a task if it's not going to be that inconvenient for them. Which task will you think Team America will be more likely to do? A, count to 12, or B, stand outside in the sun for 36 seconds. Cast your vote now. We're giving money away. Okay, Ryan Webb wants to say, why would Frankie want Zach out? Shouldn't he want to keep people around that still might work with him? Brian, does Frankie still want Zach out of the house?
I think Zach may have done a great thing just by kind of publicly burying the hatchet with Frankie, because if he hadn't, it would for sure mean his ass this week, right?
Whoa. So you think Frankie is on board with keeping Zach around?
Unless Derrick gets in his mind to talk about how horrible he is to women and stuff like that, and bash his character to the point where everybody wants to get him out again, and then all of a sudden they won't want to get him out again, and all that's forgotten. That's pretty much the Zach attack line.
Zach attack line. Ian, what's your take?
I take on
Frankie wanted to keep Zach around. You think that Frankie is back on board with keeping Zach?
I feel like Frankie will always throw Zach under the bus if like someone even mentions it, so I think that he'll probably just throw him right under the bus.
Yeah, I think it's like the parable of, what is it, the scorpion and the alligator, or some sort of, you have the scorpion and some sort of like animal that can swim across the river, and he's gonna say, Zach's gonna say, Frankie, I came back to you. Why did you sting me? He's like, that's what I do. That's what I do. And Frankie's gonna screw Zach over.
Sure.
The block may be the best place for Zach, actually. Being on the block would keep people from trying to get him on the block, and plus they'll be thinking about trying to stay off of the block, and so they might not be talking about him.
Okay. Let's do a couple more questions. Ryan Drakely says, will Cody finally be nominated? Not this week, right? He'll call them out.
Possible.
There's just so few choices. That's the thing, Rob.
If somebody puts Cody on the block, he will literally call them out soon.
Not if you frame it like you're giving them immunity. Really, that's what you got to do. I'm nominating people to give them immunity because we've got Zach throwing this competition. Who wants immunity this week?
I think Cody will crack on the block.
I actually agree with that.
I don't think he's going to take it well, Brian.
Well, they're not nominating Victoria, so because they didn't want to put Donnie and Victoria up on at the same time. So basically, you got Zach and Donnie, and then there's only three other: Caleb and Cody and Christine.
Okay.
So one of those three won't be on the block, and it's probably Cody. What you think? Caleb and Christine then would be, or no? Caleb and Cody, and then backdoor Christine. I don't know what's going on.
I'm really confused. I haven't been on the feeds in a little while. So, it should be an interesting week. I'm definitely going to be tuning into After Dark here in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have to be Caleb and Cody if they're planning on backdooring Christine.
Let's do two more questions. This is from Energizer Bunny. He says, why does Cody hate Zach so much? I understand him not trusting him, but it seems more personal than game-related. Brian, why does Cody hate Zach?
Because he's supposedly hateful towards women, and this is something that Derrick has been playing for a long time. Frankie started it and didn't stop it, and it just kind of blew up from that point.
Ian, is Zach hateful towards women?
No, I don't think so.
So where are they getting that from?
Not me. I don't know. It seems kind of random.
Because here's what happened. Frankie had started this thing that Zach had said that he wanted to punch Victoria in the face. way early in the game. And then Devin had heard that. This was back in Devin time, right? And Devin had started spinning it out of control, and it ended up being Zach had said he wanted to rip her tongue out. And then Derrick took that, and that's when the whole Zach's hateful to women thing started, way early in the game. And it's been an ongoing narrative perpetrated or, built up by Derrick.
Bro, I got to tell you something about Zach. He is hateful towards women. It hurts me because I have a daughter, and I would never want somebody to talk to my daughter that way. So Zach is out of the bomb squad right now.
And that's exactly what Derrick says. Now, it's like, now I've got a daughter, and you're stealing food out of her mouth.
Bro, you are literally taking food out of my daughter's mouth, so you gotta go. You guys. Okay, King Delgado wants to say, wouldn't it be great if the Hitman, Derrick and Cody, worked with Donnie? Well, why would that happen? Would that be great,
They are
Ian?
kind of working
I guess
with
it would be interesting, but I don't know that. I mean, it's like kind of like, okay, fine, yeah, sure, it'll be interesting.
All right, let's go one
If
more.
you're going to work with somebody, shouldn't they be working, doing something? I mean, there's no incentive to work with Donnie. He does nothing.
Oh.
He does sleeps all day. He goes to bed
He
at like
is
8
America's groundskeeper, Brian.
He'll win veto for himself. That's about it.
Yeah, really.
All right. And Emily Stobbs wants to say, shouldn't Christine try to sit at the end with another girl? Isn't it true that most females that sit in the final two with a guy never win?
I'm sick of this stat being brought up.
Bring
Like,
up
I
the
hate
stat.
this
Let's
stat.
go to the
I
stat
just
book.
hate this one. It's like they always go, well, a female has never beaten. Of course, a female has never bitten a guy in the final.
Hey, you
two.
don't know that.
Has beaten. Fair enough. Has never beaten a guy in the final two, and I mean, there's really only like I think 4 instances in which there was even a guy against a girl. I think Will versus Nicole. Okay, which way is that gonna go?
Bro,
I think Will.
Bro, I heard Zach say that he wants to beat a girl in the final two. That's abusive towards women, bro. I've got a daughter. Can't let that happen. Zach says that he would beat any woman in the final two. That's abuse towards women, bro. So Zach is out of here. What do you think?
Bashed in teeth.
We're gonna bash in his teeth.
We're going to murk him.
Is Beast Mode Cowboy in any danger this week, Ian?
How is that guy still there?
He's gonna win. He's gonna win the season. I think that he's after. They asked me the other night. I think it was Sunday night. Who is? If you could pick somebody besides Derrick who's gonna win, I said Nicole. Okay, that was bad. That was a bad pick. But that being said, I think my new pick, if I can't have Derrick, my number 2 pick might be Caleb. I'm telling you, they're going to forget about him. He's going to be loyal to Derrick. Derrick's going to keep him around. He's going to win the first part of the comp and go to the final two. Somebody else is going to beat Derrick in the second part of the competition, and then whoever wins the third part of the competition is going to not take Derrick. Boom.
What if Zach doesn't throw battle at the block, and Caleb and Cody end up on the block fighting over veto?
So say this one more time, Brian.
So if Zach doesn't, I mean, we saw that thing tonight on the show with him crying a little bit, Donnie crying, talking to him. They're both in the have-not room. So what if he has enough sympathy for Donnie to not throw the battle of the block, and then they're up against Caleb and Cody, and he doesn't throw the battle of the block, and then Caleb and Cody end up on the block.
Caleb and Cody on the block. Oh no! And then who gets the veto?
Well, I mean, between them two?
Yeah.
God, I mean,
well, and
you
then
would imagine one of them would be pulled off, right? So which one would be more likely to be taken off the block? And you would think that it would be
Beast Mode Cowboy
or Cody if Derrick is controlling it, right?
I don't know. All right, so there's intrigue this week. At first, I was not that pumped up to see a Derrick and Frankie HoH, but I think that this is going to be certainly some interesting stuff is going to happen. I'll be very bummed out if this ends up being Zach going home this week, though.
Well, you'd also have the opportunity for him to walk right back in right after that. So Who knows?
Yeah, but I want Nicole to get the second chance. So.
Ian, that's so nice.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, Ian. You wanted me to come back? Okay. You guys.
Stop fighting with Hayden, Ian.
Okay, let's start to bring this baby home. Ian is not amused.
No, I'm not.
He's not amused. All right. So all right. Well, this was fun tonight. We had a good time talking about Big Brother. We will be back on Monday after I go to Dallas to the Podcast Movement Conference. If you're interested in podcasting and you're in the Dallas area, definitely look into. I think you can still get tickets for the conference. It's going to be a very, very fun time. If you're going to be at the conference, make sure you come say hi. I love getting to talk to people who listen to the show. So we'll be back on Monday. I'm also going to do our wrap-up of the Last Comic Standing finale, which is actually probably over on the East Coast, but I'm going to watch it on the West Coast in a little bit. And we're going to wrap that up also on Monday with the great Mike Bloom. And then tonight, I'm not going to watch The Quest tonight, Ian's favorite reality TV show, The Quest.
I'm a huge fan.
Ian cracks up at any mention of The Quest. He loves it. He loves it. So The Quest is that Kurt Clark and Jessica Leese covered episode 3 of The Quest. We're going to have that up for you guys on robhasawebsite.com in the regular feed, not in the reality TV wrap-ups. That's going to be in the Rob Has a Podcast feed. So check that out, their coverage of The Quest. I also got to speak with the executive producers of The Quest earlier this week. You can check that out on robhasawebsite.com. And if you missed our podcast with America's Mogul, Eric Stein, I think it was one of the best Big Brother 16 shows we've done this season. Definitely check that one out. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it, so definitely watch, yeah.
Ian, are you pumped up for the Eric Stein Unauthorized Saved by the Bell movie podcast coming later this month?
I don't really know anything about Saved by the Bell except for one character will put answers to questions on his shoe because that's always the example given for academic dishonesty for cheating. So I actually don't know much of anything about Saved by the Bell.
Okay, all right. I guess there are some things that I know that it's certainly not of your era, but sometimes you amaze me with things that somebody your age probably should not know.
Of course, yeah. I sadly Saved by the Bell is just not one of those things. I hear there's this guy named Screech.
Yes.
That's about all I know.
Well, you should watch the made-for-TV movie because it will give you all of the behind-the-scenes stories of Saved by the Bell without having to watch, 150 episodes of Saved by the Bell.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, it might be
guess so.
Maybe.
You guess
so.
I don't
know. Anytime there's Eric Stein, I mean, there's kind of a pretty big incentive. So.
How would you feel if Lifetime made the unauthorized story of Big Brother 14 and cast actors to play all you guys?
As long as they cast, I don't know, who's a good-looking celebrity in Hollywood these days? I don't know, someone good-looking to play me.
Justin Bieber. Frankie, reach out to the Biebs. Yes.
I don't think so. I think I'd rather it be played. I'd like to be played by Tim Allen or something.
Zach Efron is going to play Shane. Yeah. You want Tim Allen to play you?
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I think he'd be really good in the role.
I feel like Elijah would.
Oh.
I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt would actually probably be realistically a good choice.
All right. So this will be all. We're going to figure it all out in the Lifetime made-for-TV movie of Big Brother 14. All right. So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up this week and next week as well. So make sure you subscribe to the Rob Has a Podcast feed, robhasawebsite.com/iTunes. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks, everybody, for staying up a little bit late with us tonight. And thanks for, hopefully you didn't mind the delay coming into the show tonight. And if you're in the Southern California area, definitely come on out. We're going to have a great time 2 weeks from tonight with Brendan and Rachel at the Ontario Improv, robhasawebsite.com/Brenchel2. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.